So how does a fat boy from nowhere get to be a soul man?
You gotta kill the person you were born to be in order to become the person you want to be.
Welcome to This Time with Daniel Shahbaz. Today, we're going to be talking about Rocketman. Was that Cher singing the song? This is not her movie.
I was trying not to get the YouTube copyright to claim us.
Ah, yes.
So I
smart.
decided to do gibberish.
Yes. So, Rocketman is the biopic about Elton John, starring Taron Egerton, directed by Dexter Fletcher.
Yep.
And produced by Matthew Vaughn, who you'll know from The Kingsman and X-Men First Class.
Yes. Which is, his influence is very much felt here. Going into the movie, though, as you said, this movie is about Elton John. But my God, they really lean into the fantasy of it, which I love. I think the biggest compliment I could give this movie is that you learn so much about Elton John, and I know, Shay, you were saying that you didn't really know much about Elton John.
I just know that, I just know of Elton John,
right,
but never invested my time in Elton John.
And even though this movie definitely probably takes liberties with a lot of things in the story, like, you really get to feel like you know him, who he is in this, and I think that's what this movie does so well. It's more across the universe than it is Bohemian Rhapsody, but in all the good ways.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we love across the universe, but this movie just hits home so well, and Taron Egerton, man, like, what a performance.
I want him to get nominated. I want him to win an award.
Right.
Where Bohemian Rhapsody could not nail a biopic, in my opinion.
Right.
This film just hits it out of the park completely. Again, as someone who isn't so familiar with Elton John, I was so engrossed. I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
I was singing along because I knew some of the songs.
Right.
But overall, I was just having such a fun time.
Yeah.
The pacing's perfect. And again, what I told you is that it
What'd you tell me?
it wasn't spoon feeding me anything.
No.
The audience, it trusted the audience was smart.
Right. And the thing is, because this movie is, Elton John is like Captain Fantastic himself. This is leaning into like that mystical side of him, right? And it does it so well, but it's also not scared to show him in a negative light. You see him struggling with alcohol, with addictions, with all of that, and it's
even his sexuality goes back and forth with it.
And it's not afraid to show that. Where again, we don't need to always compare it to Bohemian Rhapsody, just because these directors are linked, right?
So Dexter Fletcher is actually, he kind of took over for
once Bryan Singer left the Bohemian Rhapsody project, right? So it's kind of easy to kind of compare them that way, but my gosh, what a great movie, and it leans into the music. This movie's written around Elton John as a character, and it really uses his songs as supporting.
And
tell me,
Taron Egerton.
Oh my God, of course,
he sings
it.
It's all the songs.
It makes such a big difference. I know it sounds like we're like fanboying out on it. It makes such a big difference when you have an actor just so committed to it, and Elton was part of this project as well too. It's just so cool to see that, and the soundtrack was so good.
The film feels very honest and natural. Whenever the songs come up, you just get this sense of pride. I'm not much of a musical movie lover. Right. There's literally, I can count on my hand how many musicals that I enjoy watching, but overall, I just had such a good time, and I just didn't want it to end.
Right. We're lucky enough that we actually drove to Buffalo to watch this movie, so about 2 hours from us, to catch an advanced screening of it. So this is going to be coming out in the next couple weeks.
May 31st, I think, is when it
May 31st. If you like Elton John, if you don't know anything about him, if you just want a good time in the theater, this is the movie. Just go watch it, because
this one's a
watch it. I kind of teed it up.
You're like, this was going to watch it.
No, but seriously, this movie was just so well done. Again, we can't give enough credit to Taron Egerton for giving just an amazing, amazing performance in this. I think he's on his way to do even more.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this film ends up in our top 10 at the end of the year.
I wouldn't be surprised either. And if you told me that a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't believe you.
Oh, you would have spit in my face.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. You would have, though.
I would have.
If
I would have spit in your face.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a movie. I'm so happy.
And we're going to be talking more about it with our friend Anthony on the movie podcast, which you can catch on Monday. A lot of good news happened this week, and we can't wait to cover it.
So much has gone on this week, so stick around for that. That was this time.
And we'll see you next.